Do you ever wonder if insomnia recovery is truly possible? And before we get into how and what that looks like, I just want to say yes, take it from me. I'm Fiona. I'm a recovered chronic insomniac turned holistic sleep coach. And if I recovered from chronic insomnia, so can you. But if you are stuck in the insomnia journey or recovery journey, just know that it is completely normal to feel like you are confused, like you don't understand truly what recovery looks like, and whether or not it is even possible to fully recover from insomnia. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the 4 stages of insomnia recovery so that you can better understand where you're at on your journey and also what you can do depending on what stage you actually find yourself in. And before we get into what those stages of recovery actually are, I do want to encourage you to take insomnia recovery into your own hands. The more you understand the nature of insomnia, the more you educate yourself on not just the stages, but what insomnia actually is, the less power insomnia has over you. And if you are absolutely lost and have no idea what I'm even talking about, then I encourage you to sign up to my 5 Days to Better Sleep email newsletter. It is packed with everything that you need to know regarding what insomnia actually is and how you can start breaking the cycle of insomnia starting today. Let's talk about these stages of recovery. But before we get into it, I'm going to invite you to make a promise to yourself. And that is, if you're watching this video and this resonates with you, I'm going to invite you to offer self-kindness and compassion towards yourself, regardless of what stage of recovery you find yourself in. Oftentimes, this amount of pressure and negative self-criticism, we think that we're broken, that we've done something wrong, that we're still maybe stuck in stage 1. This is not your fault. And I want to encourage you to maybe start looking at the situation a little bit differently. And in fact, the nicer you are to yourself, the easier this journey gets. So please make that promise to yourself first. You're not going to judge yourself. You're not going to talk negatively to yourself. And you're simply going to take what I say as education and also as encouragement, because truly, insomnia recovery is available for absolutely everyone. So stage 1 in insomnia recovery, and this is the stage that we all hate and we never want to go back to. This is the panic stage. This is when insomnia first creeps into our lives. Maybe we've had one bad night, a few bad nights, a few bad weeks or months, and we are stuck in the loop of chasing sleep. No matter what we do, we feel unbelievably anxious, lost, alone, frustrated. We just feel so lost. This is maybe something that we have never, ever experienced before. We were once great sleepers. This stressful event came into our lives, and now we are panicking. This is the panic stage, okay? So if this is where you're at, you don't understand what is actually happening, you doubt whether or not this will ever get fixed. Maybe you're not even anxious, but you're still not sleeping. You're furiously Googling solutions, you're on medications, you're doing all the things. You're like really trying to implement all of these different techniques in order to control sleep. This is what we call the panic stage. This is stage 1. And if you find yourself in this stage, I'm going to encourage you to 1, not be so hard on yourself, and 2, educate yourself on the cycle of insomnia. If you are unsure as to what insomnia actually is, insomnia is the perceived threat of wakefulness. That basically means that we have created a fear around not sleeping, and hence we do not sleep. The more you understand this paradoxical loop, the easier it's going to be for you to understand that sleep cannot be chased, sleep cannot be controlled, and in fact, you probably don't even have a sleep problem to begin with. So if this is where you're at, you're panicking, you're lost, just know that it is okay. We all go through this stage at the beginning. And if you do have questions as to what you can actually do in this stage and you feel like, okay, it's still not landing, then please go ahead and drop your comments below, and I promise that I will also get back to you. Stage 2 is called the backwards and forwards phase. This is where maybe you're still not sleeping, but you're not as anxious as you once were. Maybe sometimes you have good nights, sometimes you have bad nights, sometimes you understand what's going on, other times you think that you're back at square one. So this is where you're truly just like swaying. It could be like on a daily basis. It still feels deeply uncomfortable. You're still doubting and wondering as to whether or not insomnia recovery is for you, but you're slowly maybe starting to see little moments of help. Or hope, I mean. Maybe you're working with a coach. Maybe you've been working with me or with somebody similar. Maybe you've been finding the right resources online. Maybe you've even started to befriend wakefulness. This is the process of reteaching your nervous system how to let go at night. If you find yourself in this stage, it is normal for you to go backwards and forwards. And that is because insomnia is not a logic problem. You could be consuming this video. You could be understanding what I'm saying. But the thing is with insomnia is that it doesn't work through logic. It works through fear and actually protection. It is our nervous system. It works through experience. You can't tell yourself that you're safe at night. You need to experience feeling safe at night. You need to experience what's going to happen on a completely sleepless night and know that, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad anyway, in order for you to slowly loosen the grip on chasing sleep and on the fear of wakefulness. So if you do find yourself in this stage, know that it is completely normal to have doubts. It is normal for you to watch this video and think, gosh, everything she's saying sounds like absolute BS. I don't know if I can trust her. It's normal. That is because you are having a dialogue in your brain. Your logical side of your brain is trying to see and understand, but then the nervous system side, your amygdala, is trying to convince you otherwise. So just know this is completely normal. It is okay for you to feel like you are doubtful and whether or not this is possible. And if you're wondering what you can do in this phase, I would encourage you to keep befriending, keep coming back to the basics, try and remove sleep efforts. That means that you're no longer chasing sleep. You are creating an environment at night where you are befriending wakefulness. That means that you are coming back to what you can control. We remember sleep can't be controlled, so we can control our time instead. We're making space for our thoughts and our emotions. We're allowing ourselves to sit with them and process them without actually pushing them away. And also during the day, we're trying our best to go about our day as best as possible and also offer ourselves a lot of self-kindness and compassion along the way, because that is always the little bit of magic that we need to sprinkle on top in order for all of this to come together. Stage 3 is where things get a lot easier. This is what we call the breakthrough phase. And as the name suggests, you have had a breakthrough. You finally understand that the fear doesn't have to be there. It feels comforting. You finally feel like you understand. But at the same time, maybe there are certain situations that make you doubt that. And that is where we're almost like 90% there, but not quite. If you're in this phase, maybe it feels like, okay, you're sleeping well on most nights, but there's still sometimes things that make you feel fearful, like sharing a bed with someone who snores, or going on holiday, or jet lag, or I don't know, any kind of sleep disruption. This is a completely normal part of this phase, and that is because we are mostly aware that wakefulness doesn't have to be feared, but there's still a part of our nervous system that is sometimes not sure as to whether or not that is true. So it's trying to tempt you. It's kind of like showing you the boundaries of your fear, and it's still, I guess, welcoming you to release that grip on control. So if you're in this phase, I think number one is please don't be hard on yourself. It is okay to still have residual fear. Residual fear is something that we can actually get comfortable with and explore. So if you're in this point and you have certain things that make you scared, I would suggest you sit down with them, you write these things down, and you actually explore the fear. Oftentimes we try and push the fear away as opposed to actually acknowledging it. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you will know that the more we get comfortable with our fears, the less they actually they release their grip on us. So if you're here, sit down with a pen and pencil, really explore those fears, or when the fear comes up, explore it. If you're also sometimes experiencing speed bumps, just know that you do not need to prepare or avoid for these. They're a normal part of recovery, and this is because our nervous system is still sometimes unsure as to whether or not sleep can't be controlled and whether or not wakefulness needs to be avoided. But just know that you are there. You don't need to do anything different. This is where consistency is so key, and also this element of self-kindness and compassion. You are pretty much at the finish line, and you should be so proud of yourself because this has not been a very easy journey. And stage 4 is recovery. That means that you have full freedom. If you're wondering as to what insomnia recovery actually looks like, it means that you are fully detached from the outcome of sleep. Oftentimes I will get asked, now that you're fully recovered, does that mean that you always sleep perfectly? No, of course not. Then that's because I am human. I am not meant to be a robot that is just programmed to have 8 uninterrupted hours of sleep every single night. But that means that even if there's sleep disruptions like jet lag, a snoring partner, a baby monitor, whatever it is, I do not have an emotional reaction to that experience. That means that whether I sleep 5 hours, 8 hours more, I don't have an emotional reaction and tie to sleep. I fully trust my body's ability to give me the sleep that it needs when it needs it. I do not need to get involved in that process. I no longer have any kind of rules, routines regarding my sleep. I am fully free. And in fact, if you are in this stage already, then honestly, I am so happy for you because I know that insomnia is one of the hardest things that we ever have to go through. And if you are at this stage, just know that this has shown you a whole new level of resilience. You are never given more than you are capable of dealing with. And just know that a lot of the lessons and a lot of the things that you have learned on this journey are so transferable to so many other situations in life. So if anything, maybe recovery also means that there is a beautiful little silver lining and lesson at the end. Anyway, that is all for today's video. I hope this has given you a little bit of clarity as to where you're potentially at. I would absolutely love to hear where you think that is. Please go ahead and drop that in the comment section below. And if you do have follow-up questions or you have something that you'd like me to cover in a future video, then go ahead and also drop that below. And I promise that it will definitely make its way into the upcoming week's schedule. Anyway, bye for now.